Hi, my name is Freddie Hunt. I'm the Director of SEO and Content Marketing at OneUpWeb, and welcome to the Technical SEO Bootcamp. Today, we're going to be talking about improving core web vitals. And if that seems super technical, well, that's because it is. But don't worry, I don't even understand all of this. But we're going to tell you what you do need to understand and what you can pass off to perhaps a developer who understands all of the technical mumbo jumbo that we're going to be talking about today. But the goal of this training is to really understand what core web vitals are, why they're important, how to audit them, and some helpful tips to optimize them as painlessly as possible, because there are a lot of really awesome tools out there that can correct a lot of the problems that are being flagged in the various audits that you'll be looking at. So, are you ready? All right, let's get started. So, what are core web vitals? You may have started hearing about them more recently, the summer of 2021, due to Google's page experience update. Now, this was a core algorithm update that really put a premium on web page experience. That is, is your website or are all of your web pages on your website secure? Are they fast? Are there any privacy concerns at all? Are they mobile friendly? And how often is everything shifting around on the page? So the core web vitals in today's day and age are the most problematic of all of the 7 ranking factors that go into or that contribute to page experience. And the 3 core web vitals that we're going to be looking at today include LCP, FID, and CLS, because hey, this is SEO and we love acronyms. But to spell it out for you, LCP is largest contentful paint. That is the largest element in the viewport and how long that takes to load. FID is first input delay. So that is basically how long are other things on the page waiting to load. CLS is cumulative layout shift, and that is how many different elements are shifting around as the web page is materializing, as the different elements are rendering. Because all of us are familiar with CLS in some way or another. Most commonly, I can think of you're trying to click on a button and all of a sudden it shifts. You end up clicking on an annoying ad that you didn't want to click on at all. That is cumulative layout shift, and Google is really trying to incentivize webmasters to improve their website so we don't have these annoying occurrences any longer. Google really wants us to focus on user experience. So they've provided some great tools for us to measure that experience and then fix it. So I just talked about a couple of these. The page experience update, it was announced in fall of 2020. It began rolling out in June of 2021. So a lot of SEOs, webmasters, marketers are really trying to wrap their head around this to see how they can get ahead of this big core algorithm update. Google says that the page experience update will look at 7 different factors, 7 different page experience factors. 3 of those are core web vitals that we just discussed. Your website also needs to be mobile friendly. And when I say website, I mean all of the pages on your website, because it is page by page. All of your pages need to be safe. So, no malware anywhere found in the code or throughout the website. And all of your pages also need to be secure with HTTPS secure protocol. And finally, no intrusive interstitials. And an intrusive interstitial is basically an annoying pop-up ad that takes up the whole screen and is difficult to click away from, that hits you almost immediately as you enter a web page. So that is not a good experience at all. So if you are running afoul with any of the factors listed here, well, your users are going to have a bad day, and you are going to have a bad day in Google search. So that is why we are hyper-focused on core web vitals and improving those core web vitals, because by now we mostly have secure, mobile-friendly, and not intrusive websites. So the brunt of the problem really seems to be, at least for most of the clients we work with, is core web vitals. So FID, CLS, and LCP. Okay. All right, so we have been doing a lot of audits just to get a lay of the land to see how our clients are performing. And Google introduced a couple of new tools within Google Search Console to help measure the progress of what we're doing to improve overall page experience, especially those core web vitals. When you log into Google Search Console and you go to the page experience section and you drill down into core web vitals, you're going to have two choices. You can either look at core web vitals from the mobile experience, or you can look at core web vitals from the desktop experience. We recommend starting with mobile. If you fix the issues on mobile, those issues should also be fixed on desktop. And because Google indexes your site mobile first, we feel that is a very good place to start from. So start with mobile, and you can investigate with a number of different tools, including the Chrome User Experience Report, PageSpeed Insights, Chrome Dev Tools, Lighthouse, the Web Vitals extension, and you can also use lab-tested metrics like total blocking time for extra clues to kind of see, where are these problem areas. Like if you have an issue with largest contentful paint, Google will often group those issues by URLs. So they'll say there are 100 URLs with a similar issue regarding largest contentful paint. And you can use any of these tools to drill into that issue to see, maybe it's that banner at the top of the page that's taking forever to load, or the hero image is just massive, which could give you, lead you to a solution to just compress all of those images or remove the banner if that happens to be the problem. So in many cases, the issues that are highlighted in any of these tools can be corrected globally. So, one fix will actually apply to 100 pages or even more. Okay. Fixing all of the issues isn't always a tedious manual process. Sometimes these issues are rooted in hosting. You may just need to find a new host to make your website and the pages on your website load faster. You can also implement lazy loading so that the elements that are visible in the viewport are loading and not the entire page. Again, so only the elements that are visible in the viewport are loading and not all of the elements that are not visible. We always recommend using optimized images. So make sure your image isn't massive. It only needs to be so big, and you can use modern compression formats like WebP and AVIF. So avoid using massive images in videos. That's been known for a long time, but is even more true today. So you'd also defer loading of scripts and component extensions, minify CSS and defer critical CSS, use browser and CDN caching, and of course there are technologies that will help us with all of these. So those last couple of bullets probably sounded very technical, and it's because it is. We work hand in hand with our development team for minifying and deferring and caching. So you don't need to know exactly how to go in there and minify CSS. You just need to know that it should be done, and then find somebody who knows how to do that, or leverage a plugin or an extension to make that happen. And we're going to look at some of those plugins and extensions that you can use. One of our favorite, WP Rocket. We install this on every single WordPress site that we design and develop. It's a great plugin for WordPress. It's pretty affordable, and it will compress and minify to your heart's delight. And all of our websites are doing really well in terms of core web vitals because of WP Rocket. There are other extensions very similar to WP Rocket. For example, Smush. We have installed Smush on a couple of our Shopify sites, and Smush does a fantastic job not only compressing and optimizing images, but you can also add alt text across the board. So if you need to create a pattern for image alt text, you can do that and optimize hundreds of thousands of images in one fell swoop. So it's great for core web vitals, but it's also great for what we would call bread and butter SEO. Another helpful technology is WebP Express to convert images to WebP format, which is a web-friendly photo format. Okay. All right, so now you are better prepared to compete in Google search results, or at least now you know how to start measuring your website from a page experience perspective. Drill into those core web vitals and actually start seeing what are the problem elements on your web pages, right? Google is going to group these problems by URL, so you'll be able to identify certain elements that span multiple pages. And by correcting those issues, you're going to be solving problems throughout the website, not just on that one page, but more often than not, that element is recurring. So it is found on many pages. So it's kind of a fun game when you identify a problem that spans, the entire site. You fix that problem and suddenly you see a whole swath of URLs go from red to yellow or yellow to green. And the idea is that we get as many URLs into the green as possible. Now, my advice, of course we want to be perfect, but don't strive for perfection. Strive for progress. So if you have, 5% good URLs in your page experience score, try to double that. Try to get to, 10% or 20% or 50% by the next 3 months. The idea is that we want to be continuously working on page experience. And if we show Google that we are dedicated to page experience by improving our core web vitals, then we can expect to be rewarded in search results. So thank you. I hope you enjoyed this. I hope it wasn't too mind-boggling. Page experience and core web vitals are extremely important because it means the users who come to our website are going to have a better experience. And that's what Google really wants. So by giving the users a good experience, we can expect Google to reward us with better positions in search results. So thank you so much. I hope you learned something, and we'll see you next time.